What is up, you guys? Glitches here, coming at you with another Dauntless video. Today I'm going to be going over some advanced tips and tricks that will make your fight against Shrowd in the new limited time event hunt much easier, and prove that it's possible to snag that title and, more importantly, your legendary unseen crown with random teammates and underleveled weapons. So let's jump right into it. So, my first and probably most important tip to give you is when going into this fight, you want to be prepared. And the main issue that people have, or at least that have reached out to me and said they have been having with this fight, is they cannot keep Shrowd locked down and burst the damage in that they need to get to finish him off in that short time window that you have to get both of the reward items. So the weapon type that I recommend you use is definitely the hammer. Here is the build that I went with during this fight. This is what I would call the most optimal build. As you can see, all of these items are plus 15. Some of you may not have all of these items at plus 15, but I still recommend you try and use this build and get as close as possible. This build is the same one that I used in the recording I'm going to show you in a minute for my playthrough when I got the rewards, but my hammer was actually only plus 10. So it just shows that it is possible with an underleveled weapon to still get this done. And on top of that, I ran it with a full party of 4, and they were all randoms, my teammates. So it's definitely pretty easy once you get the hang of it, and I'll give you a few more tips here in a minute. But let's jump into the build real quick. So Galvanic Impact, you get a nice little intro unique effect to get in real close to Shrowd when you first start the fight. You're going to have a Wild Frenzy tonic in your build. Ideally, you'll have Granny's Heartbreaker tonic for the bonus crit damage, as well as attack speed tonic to help you swing a little bit faster. But also, we have the Thundering Maul as the bond, because it gives you Etheric Attunement, which will help with our lantern that I'll go over here in a minute. But also plus 30% damage to behemoth heads, which is primarily the thing you're going to be focusing the most to get the staggers on Shrowd during the fight. And speaking of staggers, that's the main reason why we're using hammers over any other weapon type, is the stagger output that you can get really opens up good windows of opportunities for you and your hunting party to get several, probably 2 or 3 solid lockdowns on Shrowd during the fight to get a lot of burst damage in and burn his health down right when you need to. So you can plan the fight and control the fight a lot better when using a hammer. And when you're playing with randoms, you can't always guarantee what weapon types your teammates are going to be using. Not everyone mains a hammer, but I still recommend using them, only because even just having that one hammer user in your party will really make the stagger window proc a lot faster for you and your team, so it's always good to use. So for the armor here, I'm running Dark Watch Shrowd helmet. Not only are you getting a little umbral defense boost, but between the Dark Watch helmet and the volcanic treads, we're going to be getting plus 6 rage, which will give us plus 25% damage when under 50% health. And on the Dark Watch helmet, we're going to be running discipline, which basically limits our health to 50%. So right out the gate, between the discipline cell and the berserker cell that we're putting on the Malkirian's grasp, we are always going to be below 50% health, which will proc all of the other bonus perks in this build that I'll be going over. So next up, we have the Mantle of Thorns. So between Mantle of Thorns and Malkirian's grasp for the arms, we're going to be getting plus 6 Predator, which at plus 6 gives us 35% increased damage after not getting hit for 15 seconds. So that's nice. And then lastly, Embermane's Rapture, which will give us the 25% attack speed boost, which again is good for hammers, and then the Fireball on hold ability, which a lot of people have been putting Pengar's Lantern in, which it does nice like tick damage and AoE damage, but from what I find, I don't recommend Pengar's Lantern, only because Shrowd tends to jump and move around a lot. So A, he will either not be in the area of effect for the damage, or B, because of the time window that we have to burn him down in those last few seconds of the fight is so small, you don't want to take the chance of the consistent tick damage killing him too quickly. You want to be able to, the key in this fight is being able to control when you do damage to him and kill him at the right time. So having that only the 5-second delay between your big burst damage is really nice to have, and I find that you can control the damage output during the fight a lot better with Embermane's Rapture. But the other things we have on this between Overpower, Wild Frenzy, is we have +6 Catalyst, which will give our 3 tonics much better effectiveness and longer duration. +6 Overpower, which will give us +60% damage for staggered behemoths. And again, because we're using the hammer, we're going to be getting those stagger windows a lot more frequently, so that's good to have. +6 Predator, which we went over, and +6 Rage, which when under 50% health will deal 25% damage. And because we are running, like I mentioned before, the 1 tick in Berserker and the 1 tick in Discipline, we will 100% of the time be below 50% health. So both our Wild Frenzy and Rage will be a 100% uptime. We will have +25% damage and +12.5% attack speed at all times, 100% of the time during the entire fight. So that's really, really nice. So this is the build that I recommend you use. And again, if you don't have all of these +15, it is still doable. You may just have to deactivate one of the lanterns during the fight. But once I jump into the gameplay here, I'll go over some of the mechanics of the fight in more depth and give you some timings on some things, which will help mitigate some of the level differences and discrepancies that you might have in your build to still make it pretty easy for you. So let's jump over to that. Now, once you load in, you'll notice that in this particular fight, I did have 3 random teammates, sword user, chain blades, and strikers. So I was the only hammer, and it definitely helped out. But the first thing that you're going to want to do is that when you initially engage Shrowd right at the beginning of the fight, you're going to want to pop your potions. And you want to do that right away because the first few lanterns are when Shrowd is going to be the weakest and when you're going to be able to do the most damage. Shroud's attack strength and his defense will gradually increase with the more lanterns that you have lit. So ideally, within the first 3 or 4 lanterns, you're going to want to have him down to 1/4 of his health, just to make the tail end of the fight a little bit more easy. So that's pretty much what we do here. We're at 2 now. We're slowly burning him down. Now he's at half. I believe we get him to 1/4 of his health at about 3 or 4. Now, the other key thing to keep in mind is that if you're doing this all in one shot, without deactivating any lanterns, and you kill him in one pass, which is hopefully what you're trying to do, it's the easiest way to do it, you get approximately 12 seconds in between each lantern light. So when you see that number of lanterns go up and tick to the next number, try and keep a mental note in your head of the Mississippis, I guess. Just count to yourself 12 seconds to give you an idea of the timing you have, the timing window you're going to have to put out damage before the next lantern's lit. So we hit 6. We realize we're not putting enough damage on him. Even though he's at 1/4 health, we know we need a few more combos. So as soon as it hits 7, we do deactivate one of them, but it's right at the 12-second mark. So it goes right back down to 6, and I know in my head, okay, a little less than 12 seconds, and we're going to be able to get it. So we pop our few last bit of abilities here. We've already gotten multiple last hit combos, and we know that he's close to being dead. We're at 7. You only need 7 to get the crown and the title, so this is when we burn him down and we finish the kill. So having that 12-second number in your head throughout the fight and doing it all in one go is definitely going to be the easiest way to do this. Technically, if you don't care about the crown, you can have a little bit more easy of a time with just the regular version of this limited time hunt, and you can still get the title with that. But if you want the crown, you're going to have to do the Nevermore version, and you're going to have to pay attention to your timers and your lanterns a little more closely, and you're going to want to control the damage output a little bit better to guarantee that you kill him during that short little window between the 7th and 8th lantern. And yeah, it's as easy as that. Head back to Ramsgate, equip your new crown and your new title, and run around looking like a badass. I really like how we're getting more and more cosmetic items in the game lately, because as I'm sure you all know, fashion is the true end game in Dauntless, and this new legendary Unseen Crown does not disappoint. Either way, if you found this quick little guide helpful, be sure to hit that like button and subscribe if you haven't already, with notifications turned on so you don't miss any of my future Dauntless content. I hope you guys all had a great day, and I will catch you in the next one. Later. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to hit that like button. Also, if you're looking to join a killer community of like-minded gamers, then be sure to click the link in the description and join the Glitch Gang Discord server. We continue to grow every day, and it's filled with all your favorite game discussion channels, as well as several LFG channels to help you find that perfect group for your next hunt or raid. Lastly, if you're new to the channel and want to keep up to date with all my future content, then consider hitting that subscribe button and turn on those notifications. Hope you all had a great day, and I will catch you on the next one.